Hi, I'm Nagdan Ansari. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can make sure that your data go through the server and you, for example, you make sure that you stop a server. So without any further ado, let's begin. You remember from last video what we have done. Let's just run our server in here and run our game in GameMaker. And whenever we click on this host, it will go to a lobby room, for example, and it will create host number 0 because we just run our server. There is no host in it. And when we click on back, it will stop that server. And you can see there is no server in this table in here. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how you can make sure that your data, the stop event that you send to the server, has go through or not. Okay, so let's just close this, go to GameMaker, and in this stop host button, you remember when we click on left press, it will send the data to stop that host number. First of all, I want to go to the create event, and in here create two variables. Okay, first variable is this, is host stopped. Okay, and at default is false. Next, should host stop. Okay, and at default it's false. Okay, so we check if the should host stop is true. We send our data again and again, for example, 2 seconds in between each time, right? And we send that data until the is host stop is true. So let's just go to left press, and in here, instead of just doing all of this, we just say should host stop is equal to true. So with this, we know that we should stop our host, and we don't need any of this. Let's just cut this, and I want to do it in a step event. Okay, so let's just add a step event in here, and I want to paste all of those code in here. Okay, so in this left press, we just set this variable to the true, and in a step function we say if should host stop, if this is true, send this data. Okay, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the alarm system in GameMaker to send this data each 2 seconds. Okay, so first of all, in here I say should host stop to false, so it won't send it 60 times per second. We don't want that. And after it send it once, after that it won't send it again because this should host stop is equal to false. No, I want to set an alarm in here, and I want to use alarm number 0. For example, I want to give it 2 seconds, so room speed multiply by 2. It's like saying 2 seconds, okay? And after 2 seconds, I want to add an alarm in here and say after 2 seconds, the should host stop should be equal to true again, okay? So with this, we will send data every 2 seconds. And let's just see if it's working or not. So run, our server is running. So if you click on host and if you click on back, it should send this data every 2 seconds. And you can see it is sending again and again and again because it doesn't know if the host stops or not. So let's just close this and stop our server, clear it, and let's just go to our GameMaker. Now I want to use this is host stop to check if the host stopped or not, if we stop sending this message or not. So in here I say and if is host stop is equal to false and should host stop is equal to true, send this. So if the is host stop is equal to true, don't send it again, okay? Because we stopped the host, we don't need to send it again. So where we should set this is host stop, okay? First of all, we should go to our server, and in this stop host, we should send back something to tell the player the host is stopped. Don't send it again. Don't send the stop event again, okay? So for that, in here, I want to add another value to this DS map, and I want to call it, let's just copy it from here, and the data that I want to send is response, res, okay? And the value that I want to send is just no one. No one is -4, right? So when we receive this data, we can put a value in this res key in here, and we say that the host stopped successfully, okay? So in here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add something to this data.res. You remember from GameMaker. We can just copy and paste this from here to here. It's better to copy and paste it. And for example, let's just give it an string, right? So I want to say stopped. So the host is stopped. So we send back this stopped data in our map, and we know that by this response in here that is telling us stopped, that the host is stopped, and we don't need to send this data again and again to stop the server because we know that the server stopped. And after that, we should say server.send. We want to send the data, so we should say json.stringify, and in here give it the data. And after that, you remember it from here, we should add the port and address. I just copy it from here, and everything should work fine, okay? So now let's just go to our GameMaker and add a asynchronous event of type of networking. And in here we should get that response data. Okay, so for simplicity, I want to open up this host button in here and copy some of this code. I want to just copy from here and paste it in this, so we don't need to write everything again. Okay, so no, everything is okay. The type that we want to check is a stop host, so let's just change this to the stop host. And know that the type is a stop host. Let's just go here. If the data that is coming to us is stopped, we should change the is a stop host variable to the true, right? So I want to create a variable in here. I want to call it res for response. Okay, and in here I want to say ds map find value from this response map. I want to find the response, the res that we set in here, the res that we set in a step event in here, res. Okay, so we want to get the data that is in there, and in here we say if res or response is equal to a stopped. Let's just copy and paste it from here, a stopped to here. If it's a stopped, no, we can say is host stop is true now, and we don't need to send it again. So with this line of codes, we send in our data every 2 seconds, and when we receive the stopped message, we know that we don't need to send this anymore. And after it's stopped, we can say go to room 1. Okay, go back to main room, right? So with that, let's just run our game to test it. And our server is not running, so let's just run it. And in here, if we click on host, it will create a host. If we click on back, it will go to that room and it will delete that host. Let's just again click on host. You know that it has a host now, host number 0 with 1 player, player number 0. And when we click on back, you can see it's working fine. And in here, you can see that the response that we're getting is this. Okay, res is equal to a stopped and host number is 0 and type is 2, that is a stopped host. And with this system, we know that the data that we are sending is received with server successfully. And I hope you liked this video. Please, if you want to help me, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. It is my honor to have you at the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.